I'm not sure that we have the actual like empirical evidence to say that that once you get your PhD that you don't develop lifelong collaborations, right? Like, I think it's probably really varied. I think some people hold on to some of those relationships that they formed during their PhDs, and some people don't. But I will say, like, I can certainly understand why some people are reticent to hold on to those relationships, because some of those relationships may have been really unproductive, very difficult, very like emotionally challenging, right? There's a lot of power dynamics in the academy. And I know from mentoring dozens of doctoral students that some advisors are really fantastic and some advisors are not. Some advisors give their students a lot of agency, but also direction. And some people, sort of create really toxic, dependent relationships where grad students feel constantly like beat down and never really like they're contributing. And that can feel really icky. Like, why would you want to maintain a relationship with somebody who kind of berated you, constantly? Even if maybe they had like good intentions to try to get you to think better and to be your best self, it doesn't feel good, right? To cultivate or to hold on to a relationship in which you feel really emotionally scarred by. And so, for sure, there are. Those are some of the reasons I think people wouldn't hold on to those relationships. And I think other people, I do try to encourage people, don't like be dependent on your advisor. Really try to have a team of people who are supporting you. When I was in grad school, my advisor was amazing in many ways. And there were ways in which like he wasn't really helpful to me. And so I reached out to other professors. I also reached out to a lot of professors who are emeriti or emeritus status, because they really wanted to engage with students. Like, they were kind of at the part of their career where their legacy is what they're able to pass down to next generations. And so I had coffee with several professors who were like in their 80s and their 90s. And they would read my work and they would give me feedback, and they were like such amazing sources of wisdom. And I didn't have those kinds of like, those power dynamics weren't there in a way, because they had nothing to prove and they had a lot of time for me. So yeah, my advice to people is like, if your relationship with your advisor is not working out, like, make sure you are really diversifying the people who are on your team. And hopefully those relationships will carry on as you pursue your career, regardless of whether you stay in academia or not.
Hello, students and graduates. Welcome to PhD Lounge, the podcast of late night talks in which PhDs have a drink and talk about their research topics. The World Cup is coming to an end. We had two breathtaking semi-final matches where each team was tactically cautious to get the win. On the 19th of July, will it be Spain or Argentina to lift up the World Cup? Despite all the controversies, congratulations nevertheless for your amazing campaign. You've made the billions around the world, the millions in each of their hosting countries, and the thousands of football fans watching at the MetLife Stadium, celebrating this unique moment that happens every 4 years. And because it's the final of the World Cup, I made up an 11 fantasy lineup with footballers who played for their respective national teams, but with university degrees. Following my last solo session about former German international and PhD Turid Nack, I think having a roster of academic footballers would be great for this final match. It took me quite some time to research them and their original positions on the pitch, as well as their playing style, and where they'd fit best for my formation in case of adapting them to other roles. I didn't call up footballers who earned honorary degrees despite their talent, but only those who, alongside their professional footballing commitments, managed to successfully complete a 3+ year university degree. I decided to go on a 4-3-3 formation, and this is my 11-a-side for the final. In goal is Edwin van der Sar, a Champions League winner for Ajax and Manchester United, and one of the best Dutch goalkeepers of his generation, has a master's in sports and brand management at the Johan Cruyff Institute. For my 4 defenders, the right back is former Slovakian international Martin Dobrotka, originally a centre-back, but he can play as a right back as well. He has a PhD in political science, whose dissertation is about the presidential elections of Slovakia between 2009 and 2014. My centre-backs are former Belgium player who was third at the 2018 World Cup and current Bayern Munich coach Vincent Kompany, who holds an MBA from the University of Manchester, and former Italian international and my team captain Giorgio Chiellini, whose last World Cup appearance was in 2014 at Brazil, and also has an MBA from the University of Turin. Left back is Yuto Nagatomo, who appeared at this year's World Cup and had a successful career at Inter and Galatasaray. He obtained a BA in political economy at Meiji University. For my 3 midfielders, it's packed with 2 powerhouses and a first division Portuguese league notable. Rodri, you didn't expect this one. The former Ballon d'Or winner and Champions League winner for Manchester City completed his BA in Business Administration and Management at Jaume I University in 2021. Next is 2-time UEFA Euro winner, World Cup winner, 4-time Champions League winner, and many other Spanish domestic trophies, Andrés Iniesta, who earned a BA in Physical Activity and Sports Science at the Blanquerna Universitat Ramon Llull. He also has a BA in Biology from the University of Castilla-La Mancha. And then Tarantini, a former Portuguese footballer who played for Rio Ave and earned his PhD in Sports Science at the University of Beira Interior, writing his dissertation about the profile of the athletic careers of Portuguese footballers in the last 50 years. For my wingers, we have Turid Nak, PhD in Special Needs Education, and Felix Owolabi, who won the AFCON in 1980 for Nigeria and has a PhD in PE at the University of Ibadan. And my lone striker is former Portuguese international and Benfica player João Tomás, who earned his PhD at the University of Coimbra by defending his thesis about the constraints associated with the unsuccessful as well as successful transition of Portuguese junior players to the senior teams. Besides my prestigious 11-a-side, I also have on the bench some illustrious players who also obtained degrees. Petr Cech, notable Chelsea, Arsenal and Czechia goalkeeper, earned his MBA from Longford International College. Former England international Glenn Johnson, who studied a BA in mathematics at the Open University. Steve Palmer, a Premier League centre-back who played for Ipswich Town, Watford, QPR and MK Dons, obtained a BA in software engineering from the University of Cambridge. AC Milan's and England's centre-back Fikayo Tomori obtained a BA in business management at the Open University. Clarence Seedorf, Champions League winner for Ajax, Real Madrid and AC Milan, studied an MBA at Bocconi University, gaining his nickname of Il Professore for his amazing skills on the pitch combined with his academic commitments. The late Brazilian midfielder Dr. Socrates, who studied medicine with a specialty in orthopedy while playing professionally for Brazil and clubs like Fiorentina, Corinthians and Flamengo. Juan Mata, a World Cup, Euro, Champions League and Europa League winner and former Valencia, Chelsea and Manchester United winger and attacking midfielder, obtained 2 degrees, where the first was in journalism and the second in sports science at the University of Camilo José Cela. Nemanja Matic, former Serbian international, Benfica, Chelsea and Manchester United midfielder, obtained a BA in Business Studies from the University of Belgrade. Andrei Arshavin, former Arsenal winger and Russian international who obtained a degree in fashion design at the University of Technology and Design of St. Petersburg. Romelu Lukaku, who also played at this World Cup for Belgium, has earned a BA in Tourism and International Relations at the University of Leuven. And finally, Polish striker Robert Lewandowski, who besides winning the Champions League for Bayern Munich, completed a BA in PE with a focus on coaching and management at Warsaw's School of Education and Sport. And for my coach is former Arsenal manager and current FIFA's Chief of Global Football Development, Arsène Wenger, who completed a BA in Economics at the University of Strasbourg, earning the nickname Le Professeur, just like Zidov. This is my academic roster, with former and current footballers who excelled on the pitch and outside of it, and are ready for the World Cup final. Just like many of us, they managed to have the discipline and desire to obtain academic degrees while playing competitively. For many elite footballers, playing the beautiful game, having an academic degree becomes even richer when developing academic skills and combining them with their footballing skills, which is something that keeps increasing nowadays. Thank you all for tuning in. It has been a pleasure.
And being like, okay, this is the animal, this is how you can interact with it, this is what happens, and try to do much of the same is take you with me. And it's all very much kind of quite casual, I guess, in the diary format. And it started actually not even as film or as videos or anything like that. It started as articles. I used to write articles for magazines.
Okay.
It started at school, actually, when I was back in Spain. Then when I moved to boarding school in England, I wrote for the school magazine.